Hi, boys and girls, and welcome back to Mr. Grable and our grade 3 science class where we learn lots about plants and soil and growing things. This story is called Plant, Grow, Eat, Share. There it is. Here we go. That's Abby. Abby was excited about going to school today. Today, Farmer Rose was visiting Abby's class to help the students plant seeds in their indoor classroom garden. Abby loved having an indoor classroom garden. Last year, she enjoyed taking her turn watering and caring for the plants. She was excited to come back to school after the weekend to see how much the plants had grown. Her favorite part was at the end of the year when they harvested the garden and had a meal with all of her classmates. Abby sat at her desk, waiting for Farmer Rose to arrive. Abby's teacher, Miss Fields, soon entered the classroom with a new student by her side. "Good morning, class," said Miss Fields. "Before Farmer Rose arrives, I would like to introduce you to Fabian. He will be joining our class. Fabian is new not only to our classroom, but new to our province. So please make him feel welcome." Miss Fields pointed to an empty seat next to Abby and invited Fabian to please join the class. As Fabian sat down next to Abby, the two students smiled at one another. Plant, grow, eat, share. Lawns. Light, air, water, nutrients, space. "Okay," said Miss Fields. "Let's get started." She turned around and wrote on the whiteboard. Plant, grow, eat, share. When Farmer Rose arrives, she will help us plant our seeds in the peat pellets that soaked overnight. First, we have to squeeze the excess water out of the peat pellets, she said. Then we plant and water the seed and wait for it to germinate, she added. "Does anyone know what germinate means?" she asked the class. "It's when the seed sprouts and comes up through the soil," Abby answered. Germinate, that's a good word. Plant, grow, eat, share. Lawns. Light, air, water, nutrients, space. "Correct," said Miss Fields. "And when the seedlings sprout their true leaves and when the seedlings sprout their true leaves and are strong enough, we will transplant them into a garden box. It is your job to make sure your plants get light, air, water, nutrients, and space." Oh, it stands for lawns. You get it? L for light, A for air, W for water, N for nutrients, and S for space. Oh, that's brilliant. Lawns. "To help make them grow," she explained. "When they are fully grown, we will harvest the vegetables and enjoy eating them." Lawns. Oh, I get it now. Finally, Farmer Rose arrived, and the class began planting seeds in their new garden. Miss Fields instructed the class, "You will be planting in pairs, and you will remain partners until we harvest later this year. We will be planting cucumbers, peppers, basil, dill, tomatoes, and other seeds. Abby, you will be partnered with Fabian," Miss Fields added. When their turn came, Abby poked a little hole in the peat pellet. Fabian dropped the seed in. Then Abby covered it up. "Congratulations," said Farmer Rose. "You just planted Tiny Tim tomatoes." Abby and Fabian high-fived and smiled at each other. That was the beginning of their friendship. Nice. Okay. At recess time, Abby finally got a chance to introduce herself to Fabian and welcomed him to her school and town. Abby opened her lunch bag and took out a small bag of sliced carrots and dip. She noticed that Fabian had nothing for a snack. "Would you like to share my snack?" she asked. Fabian nodded. Yes. And they sat together at the desk, enjoying their snack. "Where are you from?" asked Abby. "A little town in Brazil," answered Fabian. "Where is that?" Abby asked. "Down in South America. Way, way down," replied Fabian, as he pointed down with his finger. "We moved here last week because my papa starts a new job next week," he added. So their family moved so their dad could get a new job. The next day at recess, Fabian quickly opened his lunch bag before Abby started eating her snack. "Wait," he said to Abby. "I want to share my snack with you." Fabian opened a small bag and took out 4 small bread rolls. "Here," he said, "2 for you and 2 for me." "What are these?" Abby asked. "In English, I guess you would call them cheese rolls," answered Fabian. Abby took a bite and exclaimed, "Wow, that tastes so good!" "That is a popular snack where I come from," replied Fabian. "I'm glad you like it." Yeah, you gotta try it to see if you like it. Uh-oh, this doesn't look so good. Over the next few weeks, the two friends became closer and closer while learning more about each other's culture. They continued caring for their tiny Tim tomato plants, but something seemed wrong. The tomato leaves were starting to turn yellow. The next day, Fabian said, "My dad told me the plant isn't getting enough nutrients. We should ask the teacher if we can add more fertilizer to the soil." Ooh, yeah, in lawn, there's nutrients, isn't there? Over the next few days, the tomato plant perked up and looked very healthy. "Wow, this plant is looking awesome. I guess your father knows a lot about plants," Abby said. Fabian nodded. "I guess he does." One day, as they were caring for their plant, Fabian asked, "Abby, would you like to come over to my house for a jantar tomorrow night?" "What is that?" asked Abby in a confusing tone. "Oh, I mean, would you like to come over for our evening meal?" Fabian replied. They both laughed and Abby replied, "I'd love to. but I'll have to ask my mom first. Oh, so a new word there. What's that word? Jantu? Yeah. Jantar, maybe. Jantar? Put the R in there. The next night at supper, Abby didn't recognize any of the food that was on her plate. Fabian's mother asked, "Is everything okay?" "I don't know if I like this," Abby answered. "Well, these are foods that we would eat in Brazil. You might not recognize them because we grow some different crops than you grow here. The growing season in Brazil is long, and we have a warmer climate than Canada. We grow crops like soybean, maize, sugarcane, and rice." Abby took a small bite and was surprised by how much she liked it. I think I really like Brazilian food," she exclaimed, and everyone laughed. Yes, you always have to try it to see if you like it. Abby thanked Fabian's papa for his help with their tomato plant. "You're very welcome," Papa replied. "I don't know if Fabian told you that my new job is a research agronomist. I am conducting experiments with different fruits and vegetables to find varieties that can grow in Canada. Did you know that Canada imports almost 80% of fresh fruits and vegetables from other countries right now?" Fabian replied. "Wow," said Abby. "It would be so great if we could grow all the fruits and vegetables right in our own province instead." Wow, yeah, 80%, that's a lot. During the next few months, Abby and Fabian continued caring for their tiny Tim tomato plant. They made sure to track the plant's progress in their garden journals. Finally, it was time to harvest. Abby and Fabian had about 24 tomatoes grow on their plants, and they were all plump and bright red. "We really do have green thumbs," said Abby. When they say I have green thumbs, it means they're good at growing things. Not actually green thumbs, you know. Abby remembered the delicious meal she had at Fabian's house and thought of a wonderful idea. She shared the idea with Fabian, and they both went to see Miss Fields. Abby told the teacher the idea she had for the harvest, and Miss Fields replied, "I think that would be fabulous." Oh, that's a good idea. Let's find out what it is. Lots of people there. The next day at the harvest celebration, Abby and Fabian surprised everyone with a tasty and fresh Brazilian salsa made from the tomatoes they had grown. Miss Fields was so proud of her class, not only because of the vegetables they had grown, but because the students had grown to be accepting and welcoming of another culture. Abby and Fabian smiled and gave each other high fives. Oh yeah. There you go. That's the end of the book. And there are some growing terms, so it kind of gives you ideas of what words mean, like peat and peat pellets and germination. If you want to read that. And there's a make your own salsa recipe there, if you want to check that out. All right, there's our fantastic book for today. Plant, grow, eat, share. Have a great day. Bye-bye.